Hello everybody, this is again Spectre, Tesla Spectre. Today I try to compare the consumption with elevation and some other factors on different trips I did. The first one, it was the classical one that I do all the time between Prague and the mountains with a second office that I have there, and I use Google Earth to look at the elevation throughout the trip, as you can see here. And I want to then have a look at what was the consumption. So the first trip was with 130 kilometers per hour. The temperature was -3 to 0, dry weather, medium wind, and the street was mainly dry. And as you can see, it took 1 hour 15 minutes, 209 watt-hours per kilometer. The second trip was conducted with 120 kilometers per hour, same temperature more or less, light snow, medium to strong wind, and slightly wet roads. Took 1 hour 25 and needed 181 watt-hours per kilometer. And the last was a trip taken at 110 kilometers, again temperature same, slight rain, medium winds, slightly wet roads, and that took the same time, 1 hour 25, and needed 167 watt-hours per kilometer. So if we compare now time gained versus extra energy spent, the baseline was 110 kilometers, which took 1 hour 25 and needed exactly 167 watt-hours per kilometer. But then we went to the next level with 120 kilometers per hour, which also took 1 hour 25 and which needed 181 watt-hours per kilometer. So the time gained on that one was 0, but the extra energy spent were 14 watts per kilometer or 8.4%. And lastly, the quickest drive was at 130 kilometers per hour on the highway, took 1 hour 15 minutes and needed 209 watt-hours per kilometer. So we gained 10 minutes, which is 11.8%, but spent an extra energy of 42 watt-hours per kilometer, which is 25%. Now, to understand that, we have to also see that the time spent or at the maximum speed was of course limited because 70% of the whole trip is on highway, the rest is on country roads. But that's exactly the reality. And also when you drive 130 maximum, it doesn't mean that you can drive it all the time. Very often you have cars who are slower, you have to slow down, etc. There are some few speed limits which reduce it to 110 or something. So this is a realistic comparison, and as we can see, the elevation of course doesn't matter that much because all the steep parts are after the highway. So in such a scenario, clearly it's all about the drag coefficient at high speed, and it just doesn't really pay off to drive really fast. This was the first video of this kind, and I will upload various videos on different trips I did in the last months. So stay tuned, and if you like it, please also subscribe and check out my other videos. The trip through the winter landscape, the one on consumption and others. Have a good time.